Welcome back to Overtime, ladies and gentlemen. We've finished the quick chat. We've talked about weeks 1 and 2. We got week 3 to look forward to. But here at week 2, we've all been doing predictions. We've all been doing fantasy. We've been doing all these things to get to this point. So it's time to check in and see where we're all at.
Can we not?
Can we not?
Please?
Yeah.
Can we definitely do it?
You want to do it?
Oh, of course I want to do it.
You want to do it? Let's look at the standings. Who's at the top of the pick'ems right now? Axel Toss, Lawler, and Shogun all tied. Oh, Yummy Cheeseman as well.
And he doesn't even watch NAEU. He's OCE and he's still doing 2 games better than me. That's how bad I am at pickup during league play.
We need to stop. We need to make sure Lawler does not get first this season.
Yes, he got first both seasons.
I'm not. It's dumb. Okay, I was in first the entirety of season 3, like the entire time, and then it was the very, very last day, like the last 2 matches. I think Lawler passed me because like I predicted there was one wrong that he predicted the other one.
To be fair, this season, if you come in first, I just assume you probably don't know anything because of all the upsets and random things that are going on. I'm like, oh, you're in first? You must have just been rolling the dice every time because that's what it's turned into for a lot of this season. I swear, like, I look at a matchup, I'm like, I mean, this team should win, right? And I'm like, no. Reverse
The best part is when me and James are up here, he is way too competitive. You will watch him watch these games, and he will be rooting for the team that he picks so hard. It'll be game 5 overtime. I'm sitting there, I'm just like, all right, whatever. Let's see what's going on and analyze it. He's sitting here cheering just because he picked the team on Pick'em because he wants to win everything.
And we saw at the very bottom there, Quinn Lobdell, he cannot shout his way through analysis. Turns out you actually have to know something.
I'm not going to go there because I'm right there in the middle, you know, so you got to know something
We're in
sort of.
second.
But,
That's
you
not
know,
middle.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
We're ahead of Gibbs.
Wait,
Gibbs
I'll
knows a lot.
apologize. I was punching low, roughly where he was actually on the leaderboard, but...
To get to Quinn, you have to punch down through everybody who's below you, and I'm like, you know, just I don't know if this is really a good idea, you know.
The worst is when it's like game 5 and the team loses in overtime. You're like,
yeah,
it's just not fair. It's not fair. It's like, all right, I was the only one to choose Mock. It was like me and James, and like everyone chose Frontline, and Frontline wins game 5 overtime. Like, oh, yeah, he was completely wrong.
Cool,
like,
yeah,
no,
man.
I'm so close.
Clearly, Wavepunk was a much more intelligent person than me because
the worst
he won't
ones
predict that.
are the reverse sweeps, where you got your team 2-0 up, and you're like, I've done it. I'm an absolute monster.
Yeah.
I know my method.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Shh. No.
I was happy that I did actually predict Flipside to win, or I predicted Method to beat Flipside, and then they go up by 2, and I'm like, okay, cool, well, gonna get a loss in the column right away on day number 1, and then nope, Method's like, we got you, man.
It was all for you, most likely.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They were like, we gotta do it for Wavepunk.
What's really funny is I make the predictions and then I forget them entirely. I make the predictions like, you know, right before we go into it because we have to make them at the beginning of the day, and I sit there and I think about it, I deliberate in my head, and then I just it's gone.
Yep.
So a team wins, I'm like, did I pick them? Did I just win that one? I have no idea. I don't know who I picked the first.
I don't know what happened.
Whatever.
See, that's the worst part is I have to know all my picks, and then they're mostly wrong. So everyone's like, oh, yeah, why did you predict Envy over Flipside? Why don't we bring Doomsy in as an analyst? I'm like, yep, because that's it. It's just pickle. That's all that matters, guys.
Yeah. What was the Pashy tweeted after Sunday was over about this, like, casters really should just flip a coin at this point because it's just there's just no other way. It is that close right now in Europe. Like, pick'ems are so hard, especially weeks 1 and 2 are the most brutal because it's like, you know, all right, I'm supposed to predict a team that I've seen play 1 time in league play right now, and it was a 5-game series, and who knows how it's actually going to go, and I got to tell you who they're going to win the next 2 games.
I must admit, it kind of because both regions got their own difficulties on this. You either have got EU where everyone's really close, but you've seen them, like you can at least go and look and go, okay, they played this week, and this week. So I can kind of figure out where everything kind of stands. But then you got NA, where you're kind of aware, all right, they're a little bit more spread out. It's a little bit easier to predict. But I haven't seen them play ever since the last RLCS season. So the both regions have got their own difficulties.
It's the worst. But if Pick'ems is bad enough for me and you right now, it gets worse here in a second. Let's go over to the fantasy standings and where people are on this one right now.
See, I can't even be happy about number 2 because James Bot is number 1 in the world.
In the world,
and that
right
is
now.
the worst thing for all of us here.
Yeah,
no one wants that.
But we do know he's going to have to get knocked down because you're only allowed 1 sub per week.
He has made some mistakes.
So he will have and all right, let me defend. I'm gonna get 2 statements out. I'm gonna defend myself here at the bottom. The first week, I'm making my fantasy. I wasn't originally gonna do it. Gibbs pressured me last second. He's like, hey, you've got like an hour till deadline. Do your fantasy.
Yep.
I'm like, all right, so I'm ready to handicap it. That's whatever. I'll let that slide. And then I shout out to one of any of you. I'm like, hey, do you guys know if OCE plays this week? And Wade Punk says, yeah, they play this week. I'm like, cool. I'm gonna get Drippe, who I think is the most expensive person in the entire league. Guess who doesn't play in week 1? OCE. So I have 0 points for the most expensive player in the entire league in week 1. So now all my challenge is that anyone who loses to me is terrible.
And then the
so
worst
I just want to try and
fair.
get above all you one at a time.
To be fair, you ask the people you're competing against, hey, help me make my team. Is this player playing? And someone said, yeah.
I wouldn't expect sabotage from you guys. I look better.
Look, the worst part is, too, I was a carpet. No one else shows OCE. We're an NA and EU show. Let's stick to NA and EU players. It's like, oh, fine. So you even transferred him, I think,
So
too,
now
right?
what? The second week, after I got 0 points
exactly.
at him, there's $875 for 0 points for a week. Thanks.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
I'm the bottom bar now. If you lose, like now, you guys just have to make sure you're above me.
Yes,
Because I
but my
started off
team-
with the biggest handicap of all time.
My team is
Carpet in
looking
this
good.
league, whenever you go for the high jump, you've got the bar and you've got the crash mat. Carpet is the crash mat.
Oh, I thought you
No,
were saying
I'm the
Quentin.
ground under the crash mat. Like someone forgot to put the crash mat there, and you broke a leg.
I spent like an hour or two, like really thinking through, like, all right, which players do I want and everything, you know, and for like weeks 1 and 2, and I thought I had good players, I thought I had a good team set up, and then we had just some players just not have the stats that they wanted to have. Like I've got like Turbo on my team, and of course he's with like 2 godly players, right? So like predicting which player in Gale Force is going to be the one that makes a lot of points. Well, it wasn't Turbo this week, so he's down at the bottom, but the one player right now who's consistently getting me points is Garrett G. He's been doing well. If you're looking for someone to pick up and you don't have Garrett G, go get Garrett G right now. Both weeks I think he's been in the top 10, doing a lot of work for the North American.
And now he has a new baby brother as well. So
does.
congrats to Garrett G and the fam over there. But he's been going absolutely nuts. And I was a little worried about him because he is that third wheel, or at least the one that probably gets the least ball touches between Jacob and Fireburner. But he's been stepping up on the offensive end, just going in hard. And Fireburner Jacob, relatively quiet so far in fantasy.
I may have made a big whoopsie doodle last week.
What?
I made a carpet. I woke up at like 4 a.m. and went, oh, pick 'em. I need to change this right now. I went in, I removed Garrett and replaced him with J-Naps, who wasn't even playing. But somehow my sub came in. Tylacto, you did me good, buddy. He's kept me in the lead. Somehow I'm third.
But the #1 player out of all fantasy is Gimmick.
Our boy.
And he's extremely cheap. So if you are looking to pick up a player, watch out because he has a bye week coming up. But like if you have other players to get rid of or have buys, pick up Gimmick because he's #1 right now. He is going out of his mind. He's in the running right now, probably the favorite for North America MVP. And that usually leads to really good fantasy numbers.
He can be the North American rookie, too.
I think the one place I went right is I've had both Gimmick and Garrett G on my team both week 1 and week 2. So at least I did something right.
Problem is you're playing 5
Aside from chucking a quarter of my budget out the window for no apparent reason.
But then also, all the way at the bottom, we have Axel Toss. He's like, what, 9th I think, right now? Not doing too good. I heard he was trying to study a bit.
Have you seen the way he studies? You want to watch the way Axel Toss studies for
Let's have a look.
for pick'ems here? This is what happens when Axel Toss is like, I need to watch some.
Just sits at the big screen, trying to analyze.
It gets better.
Oh, there he is. Getting closer. It's not going to help, Axel. I'm sorry.
This is going to get
It looks,
photoshopped into
yeah, it
looks
looks
photoshopped.
photoshopped. It's amazing.
Just stand still the entire time.
Yeah, that is actual footage of Axel Toss.
And that's every single game. Like,
Yeah.
he will
Yeah.
leave the host
He'll-
desk and just stand right there. Like, it's right to
I've
the right.
stood. I've done this.
it's
You know, there's once or twice I've hosted, right? And I've like gotten up and done. I'm gonna do the Axel Toss thing. So I walk and I stand. You can get vertigo like standing in front of the screen that close, and then when like a player like switches off, a ball came and then looks behind him, you're just like, whoa, like because it's such a big screen.
Maybe he's training for like some sort of skydiving thing.
He's just
or
getting as
like
close as he can.
some sort of pilot.
It's funny.
training.
As close as he's getting, maybe he needs to get closer. See where he's all the way down
Do you
there.
think he plays like that? Just
Yeah.
stood up.
No, he is angry. He is an angry man.
That's true.
Although-
but he's playing with a 50-inch TV right on his
It's
wall
also
right
funny,
next
like we were talking earlier about how you become a statue when you're just like sitting here watching. Like watch Gibbs watch this amazing, what I assume was a great play happen here. Is like, oh,
That's all you get out of it. That's also the same exact thing when my wife has a conversation about her work. That's about it. That's all I do.
Is it just white noise to you right now? A double tap is a white noise
That's it.
goal.
I'm just analyzing, man.
that happened. Okay, cool.
If it's not the team that he picked for Pick'em, he's just like James. He's like,
Yeah, that was probably a game 5 overtime goal. And he's like, oh, my team lost.
That was method winning right there.
That was method winning their second reverse sweep. Gibbs like,
Oh.
nice. Good job, guys.
Well done.
Let me tell you about IBP Cosmic.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we will update you guys as we move forward through the season on how the pick'ems are going. We have to move it forward. You know.
I'll pass
but
James.
it's been great. When we come back, guys, player accolades for the season. We gave them out last season. Going to give them out again. We'll give you an update on who's in the lead and all of the runnings and what they are and everything. If you're new for it, it'll be a lot of fun. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.